Hello there, people who are watching this video. My name is Jimmy Van Zeno, and I am a singer based in Melbourne, Australia. And I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. And I'll try and keep it short, but I do tend to talk a lot. So let me tell you a little story. So back about, would have been about probably 7 years ago now, I was recording an album with my original band that goes by the name of Sonic Circus, and it was getting close to time to do vocals for this particular album, and I had not had a singing lesson for about 20 years. I had some lessons very early on when I first started singing, and that was, as I said, 20 odd years ago. And then I sort of went off on my own journey and tried to sort of do things my way, and I studied and read books and blah, blah, blah. And I was going okay, but I knew that I had some pretty bad... my technique wasn't right, and I knew I had some bad habits that I developed. And I wanted to make sure that my vocals on the album that I was recording were top-notch, were as good as they could possibly be. And I knew that going in and singing the way that I had been singing was probably not going to work. So I found a man who I knew... I didn't know him at the time, but I knew of him. I'd known of him for many years, and his name was Peter Vox at Vox Singing Academy, which has studios all over Melbourne. I believe it's interstate now, and it's even overseas. I think it's in Thailand. I could be wrong, but I think it's in Thailand now. Anyway, so I decided to call Vox Singing Studios, and I spoke to Peter, and we organised to start up some lessons. I went to Peter, specifically Peter, because I knew he was the best. But I've since met a couple of other teachers at Vox Singing Studios, and they're just as good. Pete's the man, but every teacher they have is awesome. Anyway, so I went and saw Pete, and I stuck with him for probably, it was 12 months, easily 12 months, probably longer. And Peter, there's some funny stories that I could tell. We've had a lot of laughs over the journey of Peter teaching me and getting me back onto the right track and fixing up all of my bad habits and making me sound the best that I can. And I'm currently 52 years old, and I'm singing better than I ever have in my life. And I've been singing since I was about 19. I used to be a drummer. I always wanted to be a drummer. And then, anyway, long story, I ended up being a singer. And so it's been a long time, and I'm singing the best I've sung in my life, and that is 100% down to Peter Vox and his lessons and his guidance and the techniques that he uses are just, if you stick with what he's teaching you and you are really serious about it and want to learn and want to make yourself better, the techniques that he uses and the exercises that he gives and all that sort of stuff absolutely work. 100%. I haven't been with training with Peter for a few years now, but one thing that he does that really helps is that when you're working with him and you're going to your lessons and that sort of stuff, he will give you and record onto your phone or whatever it is that you've got. he will record all the vocal exercises for you onto your phone. So I sing in a original band called Sonic Circus. I am the lead singer in the tribute band Def Repplica, which is a Def Leppard tribute band. And those of you that know Def Leppard would know that there's some pretty big notes, lots of singing up high. And yeah, and I'm also doing some a fill-in role at the moment for a Skid Row tribute band, another band that has massive high vocals, and another band called Ages of Rock that does heaps of 70s and 80s rock stuff, and that's very demanding as well. I have all of Voxy's lessons and warm-ups and, you know, scales and all that sort of stuff on my phone, and every single rehearsal, every single gig, every single time I go down to a rehearsal studio by myself to practice, or in my lounge room or whatever to practice, I always, 100% of the time, use Voxy's, that's why I call him Voxy, use Voxy's warm-up techniques and the tips and tricks that he gives you to get myself ready to sing. And I find, and there have been times when I've been rushed and I haven't been able to, you know, use the stuff that we've recorded or that he's recorded for me to warm up, and I've sounded not as good as what I do when I use all of the methods and techniques and warm-up exercises and stuff. So Voxy, for me, has changed my life as a singer and made me I would hope, I would like to think, it's made me a much better singer than I was, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, before I started getting lessons again. So I just wanted to put this video together because the guy has some great techniques and some great ideas to help you, whether it's improving your range, going higher, or screaming properly, or, you know, learning those techniques that don't ruin your voice and don't stuff it up for you. Voxy teaches you that. He knows his stuff. He's been doing it for nearly 30 years. He knows what he's doing. And I'm so happy that I went to him. It's probably the best musical and vocal decision that I ever made in my life, was to go to Voxy. And he's just taught me so much and made me a much better singer than I was. And everybody that I talk to says to me, you know, after gigs and stuff, about, you know, vocals. If I talk to anyone about vocals and singing and stuff like that, they're like, man, where did you learn to sing like that? And I'm like, the guy's name is Peter Vox. He works at Vox Singing Academy, and that's the dude. That's the dude that you need to see. But I do know for a fact, because I've met them all and worked with a couple of them, that all of his teachers are fantastic. He doesn't employ duds. He gets good people who are good people for a start, which is number one, most important thing, and also experienced singers and have that technique that Vox Singing Studios teaches to get you going and get you sounding really good. So yeah, I just wanted to put this little video together, and hopefully hopefully Peter will share it on the Vox Singing Studios pages or whatever. Sorry, it's long. But yeah, if you want to become the best singer you can be, man, lady, girl, boy, go to Vox Singing Studios. I'm telling you, they will turn you from being a okay singer, good singer, into a really good singer, as long as you, as the singer, are willing to work at it yourself, because that is very important. So yeah, Vox Singing Studios, #1 for me. And yeah, get onto it. Give them a call. You know you should. Do it.